Hi traders, in today's video I am going to talk about how my trading is going at a prop firm called 5%ers. Also, I want to share some thoughts with you about 5%ers and about prop trading. First of all, most people, when it comes to prop trading, they are afraid that they won't get paid and they are always just thinking about the money part. Now, with 5%ers, I already paid out twice and I have no issues with them at all. It is very fast and you get your cut precisely. For me, the biggest reason to make this challenge exactly with 5%ers was two things. First was the overnight and over weekend trading allowance. For my trading strategy, it's just crucial for me to be able to hold my trades not just for one day, So it was a huge thing for me. And the other reason was the time limit, because with their instant funding, they allow you to pass the challenge in a 6-month period, not just in 1 month. And you have to make, if I remember it correctly, 6.2% gain in that 6 months. Now, in my personal journey, I passed this challenge in only 7 days, but it was because the psychological elements, they were eliminated, because you don't feel the pressure if you have 6 months to pass a challenge like this. And in my opinion, it is why they are one of the best prop firms in the world. As you know, I started this challenge with a purpose, and that was to show traders that it is completely possible to trade at a prop firm with a fairly simple strategy. I had a few key points that I made at the very beginning. The first was that I will always use stop loss and take profit. The second was that I will always use 2 dynamic exits. So not just an entry strategy, but a complete dynamic exit and a second dynamic exit that allows my strategy to close the trades before the TP or the SL gets triggered. And it is just so crucial to be profitable long term. I've tested thousands of strategies, EAs, indicators, and when I added dynamic exits to all these strategies, it was the turning point for all of them. Now, I will tell you some of my statistics from the prop firm trading. Now, it is 1 month of trading and I made approximately 10%, a little bit more than 10% in that 1 month. So my stats are the following. I made 87 trades. From that 87 trades, the profit trades ratio was approximately 75%. And my average profit trade and average loss trade ratio is approximately 1-to-1. Now, the most important thing is that the average profit and average loss trade ratio and the largest profit and largest loss trade ratio is in a good correlation with each other, because the average profit and loss trade ratios are 1-to-1, but the average profit to loss trade ratios are bigger than that. So my largest profitable trade is much larger than my largest losing trade. If you know anything about mathematics and just a few simple calculations about probability theory, you can see why it is so important, this information. Most of the time I realize that I learn the most from statistics and pure statistics alone, because when you see the purity of numbers, you can't really you know, be wrong, because numbers don't lie. And most traders have this idea that they will solve the markets purely based on luck and purely because one of their bros told them to buy Bitcoin at a certain point or anything like that. It is not how the market is working. If you want to trade in the long term, it is not how it's working. If you want to make a few bucks short term, it can work that way, but mostly, like 99.9% of the traders just lose all their money in a very short term. And I don't think anyone would like to do that. I told you these statistics because, in my opinion, if you want to be profitable at a prop firm or on your own account, it doesn't matter what kind of strategy are you using. The statistics of the strategy what matters. So if you have kind of a close statistics to these numbers that I told you, or the numbers in your strategy are correlating with this, and your averages are similar, then you are on a good path. I explain it. So for example, you can have a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. So in human language, you can have your average losing trades and your average profitable trades in a way that your average profitable trades are 3 times bigger than your average losing trades. And if you have that, you don't have to have a 75% win rate. Your strategy will have the same correlations with only like a 40% win rate. So the most important thing in trading, in my opinion, of course, is psychology, but to learn simple mathematical equations to calculate your risk to reward ratios and your probability to win, because you will have to have an edge over the markets. You might be curious what kind of instruments I am trading, and currently I am only trading forex pairs, and I know that you are very curious what kind of forex pairs I am trading, so I tell you. So I am trading Euro USD. Exactly, I made 23 trades on Euro USD in that 1 month. I did USD Yen, and I made 18 trades on USD Yen. Then I traded with USD Swiss franc. I traded NZD USD. I traded GBP USD. I traded Swiss franc and yen. And then I just traded Euro NZD and GBP NZD. And these were my top pairs to trade. I hope this little update video was useful for you, and if you are curious about prop trading or any of these strategies in detail that I am talking about, I will do a Q&A about prop trading and this strategy. So let me know your questions in the comments, because I will make a video about your questions. It will be very, very interesting.